One man, 100 guests, 1,000 drinks. Drinking with Jason.
Okay, welcome to the first episode of Drinking with... God damn it. All right.
You're doing awesome. Keep going.
This is fantastic. All right, I'm going to start that again. Welcome to the first episode of Drinking with Jason, where each week I will drink copious amounts of alcohol with people I find interesting, or in Elle Casey's case, annoying. So, speaking of, my first guest is New York Times bestselling author Elle Casey.
Can I do that?
Oh, very nice. And Elle, I guess I should also say in this show I will drink whatever the guest's favorite drink is. So this week we are doing some wine that Elle sent me. Nice devil horn. And we'll see if I can polish this bottle off before the show's over. Wow, you're just using the Google effects like crazy.
Oh, yeah, baby. Okay, I'll take it off.
Oh, I don't care. Do your thing. So, Elle is a New York Times bestselling author. Are you also USA Today?
Yeah.
I guess
if you get New York Times, you're automatically on USA Today because it's easier. It's a bigger list.
Okay, so Elle sold 1 billion books then. And we also co-authored a book together. Was that almost 2 years ago now?
Was it that long? Ooh.
I think it might have been.
I think so.
I can't remember. It all blurs together, which I actually have a copy of here.
I love that book, by the way, and I love that cover.
And hopefully we'll be working on a sequel here soon. Hopefully
Yay.
in June, yeah. So, okay, so let's get the background on the booze first.
Okay.
What do we have going on here? Mas Granier? How much did I screw that up?
You didn't really screw it up at all. You did very well.
It's really shocking.
It's a winery that's just maybe 5 minutes from my house, and my son's girlfriend and her family live on the vineyard property. So that wine was taken from grapes right behind their house.
And you're just personal friends with these people?
Yeah, my son's girlfriend, actually. So I'm good friends with her parents.
Oh, I figured you would have chased all the good people out of town when you moved over there.
No, there's a few good people left.
They just haven't been able to sell yet?
They've been there a really long time. They're hoping I'll leave first.
Okay, so obviously Elle is living in France, or maybe not so obviously. Now, when we started talking, I guess that was that 3 years ago now? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. We were both just starting.
Right. You had not been living in France long.
I moved here. I moved here in 2010, so I'm going on. This summer will be my 5th year here.
Okay. And you had moved there from Florida, where you were a lawyer.
Yes.
And then I started. It was the story of this moving to France thing. How do you make a decision like that? That's.
Well, I don't know if you remember 2010. I don't know what you were doing in 2010, but my husband got laid off, so. We were just looking for a major change, and since we knew the job situation wasn't going to be great anyway, we figured we'll just take a little time out. So we thought, let's go somewhere exciting and different than what we're used to, and we had vacationed in France before, so we said, let's go to that place. It's really cool. Maybe the kids will learn to speak French a little bit and see another culture and all that stuff. But then once we got here, we didn't want to leave, so we didn't. And here we are now. And I had to teach because it was the only thing I was qualified to do, not speaking French yet. And then a couple years into being here, I learned about self-publishing and wrote my first book. And then I quit teaching about a year after that. So now all I do is write.
So when you moved over there, neither one of you had a job when you moved over?
Well, I came over ahead of the rest of the family and stayed with a lady I had met named Olivia in Paris. She's a lawyer there. And while I was staying with her, I got a job contract with a university in Paris. So when we came over, I did have a job, but we ended up moving to the south of France, and I commuted up to Paris every week to go to work while the rest of the family stayed down here in southern France.
Wow. See, I always thought I had a crazy decision when I just quit my job with nothing, nothing planned. You actually moved to another continent by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have 3 kids and a husband, and my husband works in our vineyard now because we ended up buying a vineyard here, and he also does a lot of the business stuff for my book. So, we just kind of forged our way here. We were like pioneers going the opposite direction.
Wow. So you now make your own wine, or have you not started? Are you just growing the grapes now, or I mean, what's?
Well, we bought an existing vineyard from a guy who's been making wine. His family's been making wine for centuries, so our vines are 20-something years old. And we did our first harvest this year, so actually we were not totally prepared to do it, so we sold most of our grapes, but we did keep about 300 liters worth, and they're all sitting out in vats on our terrace right now. And so I can go out there and just pull the spigot down and get myself a liter of wine whenever I want to, but we can't bottle it until the spring because it has a secondary fermentation it has to go through before it's able to be bottled. So it's really good.
A ton of wine just outside the door.
Yeah, it's like a giant, I don't know what you call it, like a giant, those igloo coolers where you press the button and the stuff comes out?
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's got 300 liters of wine in it.
Wow. See, I would be dead already. I'd just get up and make eggs and have some wine.
Well, the wine here in France is really, really good, and it's really inexpensive where we are in the south because there's just vineyards everywhere you look. We're surrounded by them, so I can get a really, really nice bottle of wine here for €4 that in the United States would probably cost about $30. So.
Wow.
So I don't need to go drink the stuff out on my patio that's still got another fermentation. I can just go grab a bottle of stuff at the grocery store that's ridiculously good. So
that's kind of maddening. So how do you get anything done? All right. So
I don't drink unless I'm at a party or whatever. So it's not difficult for me.
You're so much better than I am. So, okay, we started talking. Actually, I think it was on Twitter. A couple years ago, because we had started out at the same time, and you have now run 6 laps around me. But how do you always keep? So you always write a ton of books. Anyone that's ever followed Elle, for a while there, you were writing a book a month, and you were just saying that you're actually going to do more than that this year.
Yeah, well, I did a book a month for the first 2 years, and then 2.5 years, and then I hit I wouldn't say I hit a wall, but I had to deal with some serious online troll issues, ugliness, online ugliness, I guess you could say, and it really just slowed me down. It demotivated me. So then I was releasing a book every couple months, every 3 months, and then beginning of this year, I was just like, okay, I'm over that. I can move on from this. I kind of stepped away from the internet quite a bit. I just stopped interacting on forums and interacting on sites and things, and just kind of kept it local to my one Facebook page. And so the beginning of this year, I made a calendar. I don't know that you'd call it a New Year's resolution, but it kind of happened around that period of time. And I planned out, I had a list of all the books I wanted to get done, and I planned them all out day by day on my calendar, and it came to 17 projects. Now, one of them is a short story, one of them is a screenplay, so they're not 17 novels, but I think there are 13 novels or 14 novels in there. And so far, all the way through January and part of February, I have kept up with my calendar, so I'm in good shape.
How the hell do you do all these projects? So, for example, I'm sure nobody knows, but where you're sitting right now in your house was a converted barn. So
yes.
You guys did that. Now you're making your own wine. You're going to write 13 or 14 books. Do you have clones of yourself sitting around?
No, and I also spend a lot of time riding my horse. So
you don't sleep?
I do, although I think when I hit 43, 44 years old, I felt like I suddenly became an old person, because where I used to sleep 10 or 12 hours a day, now I can only sleep 5 or 6 hours a day. So I have a lot more waking hours than I used to have. And I'm doing a lot more, I do ride my horse 5 or 6 days a week, and I go to exercise class a couple days a week, so I have a lot more energy than I used to have. So I don't take nearly as many naps as I used to, and so I guess I'm just more productive.
That's funny, because I take more naps now than I ever have. I don't know why. When I started writing, I just, after a couple hours of writing, I'm so exhausted. I'll take a nap, and then I don't do shit for the rest of the day.
Well, that's the thing. If I'm writing really hard in the morning, I have to take a nap because it's like my brain just stops working. It's like I can't focus. I have to take a nap, especially if I'm going to write more in the later afternoon. I need a break. I need, like, my brain needs to rewind or something. Recharge, rewind.
Are you still doing those crazy 10,000 word days you were doing?
I don't do them often. The only time I have to do that now is and I haven't done it since January because I haven't procrastinated, but second half of last year I did a lot of that because I would do nothing for 2 weeks, and then I would have a deadline, and I'd have to write, half a book in a week, and then, I had to do 10,000 word days, and those, I don't like doing those anymore. I don't like them at all, so I'm smarter now. I say, okay, if I want to finish this book by the end of the month, I got to write 3,000 words a day, and every time I miss a day, then that's 6,000 words the next day, so I just don't miss a day. So I get up in the morning and I write. And I just finished a joint project with a friend of mine, Amanda McCune. She says it's McCune, but if you look at it, it looks like McKeon. She's a nice Irish girl. And we wrote a romance together with alternating chapters like you and I did for Aces High. And so she has a baby, so she gets up in the morning and writes in the morning while her baby's at daycare, and then hands the chapter over to me, and I write in the afternoon for our joint project. So my Elle Casey project I work on in the morning, have my break, and then I work on my joint project with her in the afternoon. So these days I'm sometimes working on 2 projects at once.
Oh, I hate that. I've tried that a couple times. I suck at it. I think your microphone is on the earpiece that was hanging down. I could hear it hitting your sweater or something.
Sorry. Is that better?
Yeah. Don't fuck up my show. Come on.
I'm sorry. These earbud things are humongous. They're really uncomfortable.
So I should also say I wanted to have you on because I figured if I fuck up the first show, it's just you. Who cares?
Really? It's just an asshole, Elle Casey.
And we made it 4 minutes and completely screwed it up and had to start over. So that actually worked out. So you ride a horse a lot? Have you always been into horses, or is that just a recent thing?
I started 1.5 years ago. It's something I always wanted to try. And then I finally said, what the hell, you're not getting any younger, you might as well try it. So I did. And then I ended up buying a horse after I took lessons for several months.
Wow. So you just don't have time during the day where you just, like, watch Netflix or...
No, I do in the evening after dinner. We watch Modern Family. That's like one of our favorites. That show just cracks me up. We watch Sherlock, or no, it's called Elementary, I guess.
What's it called?
Elementary.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's pretty good. It's did you ever see Eli Stone? That television show, Eli Stone?
No.
There's a guy, an actor named Johnny Lee Miller. He plays a modern version Sherlock Holmes, and his partner Watson is actually Joan Watson, who's played by Lucy Liu.
Lucy. Okay. Sure.
So it's really cool. It's like a modern day Sherlock Holmes, and he's a great actor. So we watch that, and we watch Orphan Black.
Oh, my wife and I watched the first 1 or 2 seasons of that. We haven't watched the rest yet, but that show is amazing.
Yeah, I just started watching it, so I'm on season 1, but I just got Netflix recently, so I'm kind of like catching up on all these series that have been going for a while.
What is that actress's name? I don't know how she isn't winning. Was it Emmys for TV? I don't know how she's
the Russian girl, and you know what? She's also in this Canadian television series called Heartland, which I watch, which is about a farm with horses on it, and it's really for teenage girls, but I love it. But anyway, she's in that too. She plays a rodeo barrel racing girl. She can play anything.
She's amazing in that show. I mean, how many different characters does she play in Orphan Black?
And they all look like different, like they all seem like different people because their personality is so different.
Yeah, she does the accents and everything. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah.
Wow, I just really showed my white American there. I can't. It's so bad. It's worse that I grew up in the mountains, so I'm still trying to get rid of my redneck. Tatiana. Oh. So I'd asked some people on Facebook if there was anything they wanted me to ask you, so I'll just get the lame questions out of the way first.
I'm pretty sure calling reader questions lame is very non-PC.
You've seen my Facebook page. It's just me shitting on my readers. So They seem to like it. I don't know why.
And your readers like it when you do it, so I shouldn't say anything.
It's interesting. So I kind of have this relationship with everyone. I shit on them, and then they shit on me, and then I don't know. It's like a
and then you all hug it
thing.
out.
Yeah,
hug it out.
I guess I never grew up.
And then they send you boxes of wine and candy.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? I didn't bring the candy up that your husband had sent. It was like an orange dark chocolate kind of candy.
Yeah, which is totally lame. So that's all on him, not me.
Yeah, fuck him. The wine's good though. It is really good. This bottle's not going to last long. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
So the one thing I still get emails every now and then asking about Aces High, and we've been kind of emailing back and forth about this for 2 years now. But it actually looks like we're going to start it in June, is the hope.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Yes.
We already have a cover.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we did the cover way back when.
Yeah.
What the hell is it even called?
King's Ransom.
Wow, okay. Yeah, see, I already drank that memory away. So people can stop emailing. There is a book coming at some point.
And if you do email anyone, email Jason 10 times in a row because he likes it.
Okay, so I love it. Yeah, I just love getting hounded all day, every day. Before I get back to the questions, I'm going to totally forget this. When you get emails from people, do you get like really bizarre emails that like don't make any sense sometimes?
The only time I get those are when they are coming from one of my Brazilian readers who has tried to use Google Translate for their Portuguese.
Oh, I'm sure that's lovely.
Those are really very confusing, but no, I haven't gotten any like weird ones, if that's what you mean. Do you get weird ones?
I used to put my email on my website, and I've been trying to figure out if it's because of my genre, but I would get the weirdest emails that were like just so bizarre. I couldn't even make sense of some of them, so I would just reply, thanks, and then I would get like this glowing response that actually made sense after that, but I was like, I was kind of afraid of some of these people, so I had to take my email off of my site. I had to make it hard for people to contact me because I was starting to get really frightened.
I think it must be your genre and maybe your face. I don't know, but I don't get emails like that.
Yeah, I set myself up for that one. God damn it.
It's maybe your haircut. I mean, your current haircut's quite nice, but before you were sporting that ridiculous gopher on your head or whatever that was, and that might have inspired some slightly insane emails to come to your inbox.
No, that haircut was powerful. I completely disagree. Although when I cut my hair off, oh, you can't really see it because it's dark in here. I was like, holy shit, I went really gray in the last year since I cut my hair.
I didn't see any gray. I just saw like bald spots, but I didn't see any gray.
Yeah, no. Fortunately, I'm not rocking that yet. Soon, though. I'm so healthy. I'm sure I'll be completely bald here soon. People wanted to know. I got a couple questions. They want to know if you're going to write something other than romance in the near future. And that's
yes.
Me being polite about it because I was arguing with them about it on my Facebook page.
Yes, I am. In fact, I'm writing, and that's another thing I decided after 2 years straight of writing romance, I needed to mix it up a little because not that romance is boring, but it was just starting to feel a little monotonous. So I am writing a space opera, a 3-book space opera this spring.
Under a pen name or your regular?
No, Elle Casey. Elle Casey.
Oh, interesting. Sweet.
And I am also writing another urban fantasy that's a add-on to my War of the Fae series. And
what's that one?
That one's the project name is Dragon Riders, but I don't know what. I think it may just add it onto the War of the Fae book 8, 9, and 10.
Jesus, it's going to be like an epic saga.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody can shut the hell up. She's going to write something other than romance. It's coming soon. You'll be happy. And
I'm actually gonna, I wrote a screenplay, my first screenplay, and I'm going to try to find an independent film company to make this really low-budget, cheap film out of my screenplay. So that's my really wild and crazy idea for 2015.
So you're going to try to get it going by the end of the year, or you just want to have the script done?
I have the script mostly done. It needs to go through another set of edits, but I want to put the plans in place this year to film next year. I think that's a doable timeline. Wow. That's crazy. See, I was happy because
I just had the dark optioned, and I'm happy because I don't have to do anything. Like, he was asking if I wanted to read the script when he finished it before he pitched it, and I was like, no, I don't give a shit. Like, as long as the check's clear when you sell it, I couldn't care less. But you're actually trying to produce it yourself, like an executive producer kind of thing. Like, you're hiring people and writing the script and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be just an extreme naivety on my part, making me do all of it. But when I'm interested in something, I like to just kind of dive in there and see what happens. And if I get into it and I realize I'm way, way, way over my head, I'll try to go another route. But this is the route I'm thinking of for now.
Well, you always seem to dive head first into things and come out ahead, which really pisses me off, but it works for you, so why not make a movie?
Well, I've seen all these like really ultra low budget, short films and stuff, and so I know there's a lot of indie groups out there who are making films for not a lot of money, and I specifically wrote the screenplay so that it wouldn't need, a big budget to, for location and stuff like that. So I think it's possible to do it on a really small budget, and I don't expect it to be a blockbuster or anything, but I would like to get it into some film festivals and see, if anybody likes it. I guess I always had this idea that I would like to see characters that I see in my head actually saying the words on a screen, so everybody can see what I see in my head.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing because, obviously we write books, and a lot of people look at that as a really interesting thing. Like, every time I meet someone new and they find I'm an author, that's all they want to talk about, which is fine, but, there's just not that many people who write books for a living. But there's something about movies and television that is even more kind of captivating. I don't know. Maybe it's just seeing people, but yeah, it's like it feels like it's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's when I read a book and then I go see the movie, I always say, well, most of the time I say, oh, the book was much better because I had it imagined in my mind a certain way and they didn't realize it that way on the screen. So I have this ultimate fantasy that the book I write will be realized on the screen just like I see it in my head, and I'll finally be able to share with somebody exactly what I was looking at when I was writing it.
Sure. Well, yeah,
really
the books are almost always better because, making a movie is ludicrously hard. You have so many people doing different jobs, and you're trying to keep that together, and there's so much more money involved, So if, you want to produce it yourself, you obviously won't have to deal with, studios tinkering with your story and all that, but movies that's a tough nut to crack. I'd really be interested to see if you can do something. You're doing it at the right time, too. With iTunes and Amazon and YouTube, you can kind of get it out there on your own regardless of whether anybody picks it up or not.
Well, that's the thing. I go on iTunes all the time, and I always go down to the indie film selections, and I just, you'll see one on there for 99 cents or $2.99 or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, let's give it a shot. And sometimes you can see it's some low budget thing that, some young producer put together, but I always like them because they're more unique, I guess. They take more risks. They have story arcs that sometimes don't make sense, but they're still entertaining to watch. And
yeah, sometimes the acting, it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, my wife and I do the same thing. We go on Netflix and Amazon Prime and just watch some very obscure movies. And, 3 out of 4 times they're just terrible. But sometimes you find a gem that maybe isn't the best produced, but it's so unique. It's a good experience. So. Yeah, and this is a young adult you're looking for? Or you're doing?
Yeah. It's like late teens.
Okay, so it's not going to have any of your sexy, icky stuff?
No sexy, icky stuff. Not even a kiss. Not a single kiss in this one. But it has a bit of a paranormal edge to it. So.
Wow, you are going back to your roots. That's going to make them happy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What was the other question? Somebody was asking about what playlists you're listening to. Do you listen to a different playlist for each book, or are there certain songs that remind you of certain characters and storylines, things like that?
Well, usually what will happen is I'll hear a song that really strikes me for one reason or another, and that particular song will spark the idea for a book. And sometimes it's a lyric in the song, or sometimes it's just a general mood. But this screenplay that I wrote, the name of the screenplay and the book is Pocket Full of Sunshine. And I was on vacation, and I was going to sleep, and this song just started buzzing through my head. I got a pocket full of sunshine. I don't know the rest of the song, but you know what I'm talking about. Whoa, whoa. And so my mind started thinking about Pocket Full of Sunshine, and the whole plot came to me. So that's one recently. And a romance that I'm writing next month, that's the second book in the Love in New York series, was inspired by a song by Tove Lo. I'm sure you've heard it. Gotta Stay High.
Yes.
Gotta stay high all the time.
Wow,
You know?
I didn't expect you to sing to me. This is fantastic. Can we get that sunshine bit again?
I got a pocket full of sunshine. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Oh whoa.
So you know one line and that inspired a book? That's hilarious.
Yes. Well, if somebody says to you, pocket full of sunshine, I mean, what does that mean to you? And I thought, literally, pocket full of sunshine. And so I wrote a screenplay about literally a pocket full of sunshine.
Interesting. I guess if somebody said pocket full of sunshine to me, I'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Are you okay?
Are you high?
You're really weird. And you decided to make a movie. Okay. That works. And then you had another one here that asked if you were ever planning on doing a post-apocalyptic series for grown-ups. And I guess we should preface that with you have the Apocalypsis series, which is a YA. The beginning's not post-apocalyptic, is it? Yes, it is. It starts after the apocalypse.
All the adults are dead, and it's not dystopian because there has not been like a new government or centralized authority set up. So it's just dog eat dog.
A couple of weeks after the apocalypse, is that correct?
It's months after. It didn't happen all in one event. It happened over a period of months of people dying of a mysterious virus. So
I read that so long ago, I can't even remember.
I can't remember it all either. That's one thing that readers don't get, because they'll bring up some little obscure fact from a book that I wrote 3 years ago. Oh, crap. I got to plug in. Hold on. I got to move. Sorry.
That's all right.
You're like, what? What is she talking about? Hold on. Let's get move to another spot.
We're getting a grand tour here.
Yeah. Hold on. But now I don't have my stand, so I'm going to be looking down at my computer.
I'm sure we can handle it. It's all right. I need more wine.
Whoop. There we go.
I can see why you drink this all the time. This goes down pretty easy.
Yeah, maybe it's too easy. A reader will mention some obscure fact from a book that I wrote 3 years ago and say, so why did she say that? Or why did that happen? And I'll say, I don't know. I got to go read the book again. Like, I don't have all my characters' personalities or names even memorized. If I have a little side character that only pops up once in a 7-book series, I may not remember that character even exists until I go back in the book again.
Oh yeah, I have the same thing. When I was talking to the guy who's going to write the script for The Dark, he was asking me questions, and I was like, I have absolutely no idea. And he was shocked. But I was like, man, that was 2 years ago. I have no clue. I don't even remember a lot of the character names.
Yeah, and it's because if you write a lot of books, you've moved on to the next world. I mean, you're setting up a whole world. You're not just, working in the same world all the time. So maybe if you're the kind of author that writes 1 book a year, it's a lot easier to remember what you did last year because you only did 1 book last year. But for you and I, we're regularly putting material out. That's a little harder. Keep track.
See, I don't even write at your pace. I just drink a lot and do a lot of cocaine, so it's kind of hard for me to keep things straight. I think that was pretty much all of the questions, because most of them are just, we want more young adult, and they're going to get it, so hopefully that'll keep them happy.
Yeah.
So what are you working on right now?
Well, I signed a deal with Montlake Romance, which is an imprint owned by Amazon. So I am finishing up a project that they asked me to propose to them. It's a romance. And I am also just finishing up a co-written project with Amanda McCune, which is a chick lit / romance novel. And then when I'm done with those, I think, I'm also working on another project, which is a follow-up to my Just One Night series from last year, which was a romance. And then after that, I'm writing a science fiction space opera, 3 books. And I got killer covers for him. I found this guy named Jeff Brown who does digital art, digital drawing and stuff. And I told him what I wanted, and he made these really killer covers. So I'm excited to share those. But I don't share my covers or my book titles early anymore because I've had some other people copy them a little bit, and that's really frustrating. So I wait
that's
until
beautiful.
I'm close to release.
Well, I remember you were going through some issues with writing posts on certain forums that shall not be named. K-boards, you piece of shit. Because people... Actually, I like K-boards. It's just bad things happen if your name is mentioned there, or if you write helpful posts, you just get shit on for some reason.
Okay, I'm sorry, but something is really bad is happening to my hair, and I don't know if it's the wine or what. Makeup! Where's the makeup people?
Yeah, where's your husband at? What do you pay him for?
Okay, I need to go get my wine. Hold on a minute.
Okay. This is the most professional show of all time. I'm just going to say that.
Sorry about that.
I was just mentioning that this is the most professional show of all time.
I figure if I continue to drink this wine, I will not care about my hair anymore, and that will solve the problem since I do not have hair and makeup people here in my kitchen to help me.
Yeah, just drink more. You kind of have a light off the one side of your head that's has like a weird effect going on. I don't know.
Did you turn it off?
No. You could try maybe angling the computer a little bit, or
Oh,
sitting in front of the light so it's behind. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Fixed it. Yeah,
Is that better?
that's so not.
Do the side look. Is that good?
Yeah, you should do the duck face for sure. That helps.
I had to do an off photo for Mont like the other day, and I photoshopped the shit out of that thing.
To put somebody else's head on your body?
No, but I like erased 10 years off my face. I was like, whoa, I was cute 10 years ago.
So they wanted a new author photo from you?
Yeah, they needed like a more official one.
Oh yeah, so
The one I had before was like me in my backyard, going, "Hey y'all."
Yeah, but have you seen mine? It's this. This is like all. This is. People keep telling me I need new, and I'm like, I just don't give a shit. Like, it's just not me.
I like the one that's on your Facebook page that looks like you're actually taking a piss off the edge of a cliff while your little dog stands next to you.
I love that one. People kept complaining because they couldn't see my face, and I was trying to explain to them that I was just so beautiful they might cry if they saw it, so I have to have my back to them.
It's dangerous. You don't want
They just weren't buying it for some reason. So.
Well, I like it because you're this, trying to be this big tough guy, and then you got this adorable tiny little dog next to you going, "Hey, Dad, look, you're skiing over the edge of the cliff."
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah, it's my little schnauzer. I'm actually, that dog was, now, you want to hear something super romantic, just prepare yourself. I know you're a romance writer, but don't steal this, okay?
I'm going to hold my wine with 2 hands.
It's actually a super simple story. That dog was my wedding gift to my wife because I'm actually really allergic to dogs, like deathly allergic to dogs. And she is a big-time animal person. And she had to agree, basically, that if she married me, she could never have an animal because, I like to live. So I found miniature schnauzers while we were going through the process of setting everything up for the wedding. And by we, I mean me. And by me, I mean she did everything and I did nothing. And I found these dogs, and they're hypoallergenic. So I was able to actually get her a puppy, and then I gave it to her right for the wedding.
That is really romantic, except none of my main characters will ever be deathly allergic to dogs.
Well, so the problem is they're hypoallergenic, not non-allergenic. So the first month was really terrible for me. And I was waking up, and I just felt like I was going to die. And I woke up one day, and I was like, I think I have to send your Christmas gift or your wedding gift to someone else. I'm like, we're not even going to get married now, are we?
You went from like romantic 10, level 10 to -10.
Yeah, I've really
I'm going to give you
screwed
the
that one up.
puppy you always wanted, and then I'm going to take it away.
Yes, yes. But fortunately, I woke up one day and my allergies had cracked, and I've been fine ever since. So
So you were totally faking it the whole time.
Well, it didn't help that I went on a trip, a business trip one weekend, and when I came back, the dog was magically sleeping in the bed when she had not been before. So then I'm laying down in a bed with something I'm allergic to.
Doggy dander.
Yeah, but I also knew that if my allergies didn't crack, my wife would have sent me back and not me, not the dog. So
you had to talk. Listen, allergies. It's time for you to go.
yes, and it worked. You nailed it.
You played out allergies.
Well done. Out. Yes. So what time is it there in France? Going on? Is it midnight?
It's 12:17 a.m.
Are you going to write tomorrow?
Yes.
Wow. Well, you just said you only get like 5 hours of sleep, right? So.
Yeah, I don't go to bed before 1 in the morning ever. If I go to bed before that, I wake up way too early in the morning. I'm a night owl. I've always been a night owl.
Yeah, me too. I don't go to bed before 1 ever. So, not that I'm working. I'm just not doing anything of value. So tell me about your horse.
My horse. What do you want to know about her?
Well, was she? I don't even know what they're called when they're young.
She is 13 years old now, so she's pretty. I don't know. She's like mid-aged for a horse.
So did you adopt her from somewhere, or just bought her?
I bought her from a lady who was moving on to another horse, and she is half Arab and half draft horse. So I actually say that she looks like a Mr. Potato Head horse. It's like, a draft horse is really big and muscular and stocky and with big, thick necks, and Arabs are very fine-boned and, very, I don't know, exquisitely horse-looking. So she's got this Arab butt and this giant draft horse head and neck. So it's like someone clicked on, okay, let's make the Arab here and the draft horse here. So she's pretty goofy looking, but she's a real angel. And she's basically taught me how to ride. So.
Now, do horses get really attached to their owners?
They get really attached to whoever brings them snacks.
Oh, okay.
I am.
So they're closer to cats than say dogs.
Yeah. They're like neither one because they are prey animals. So, dogs are predators, cats are predators, we're predators, so we think in a completely different way. They just think pretty much anything is out to kill them at some point or another, so they're fearful of everything. So if you feed them a lot, they start to trust you and think, well, maybe this one's not going to kill me. And so you develop a partnership, a feeling of mutual respect, but there's never this. I think people like to believe that their horse is in love with them and, that it's like your dog, but it's not. It can't be that way with a horse. My horse appreciates me and trusts me and so on, but she comes running to me because I bring food. That's it.
So she doesn't like the fact that you're pure evil, but she likes that you have food.
Yeah, she's like, well, as long as she's not killing me today and she's feeding me, I guess I'll come running when she comes over. But I make her work, Whenever I bring her in, I saddle her up and make her carry my fat ass all over the place. So, she's like, how much do I want this food?
And
luckily, they're hungry all the time, so.
So was this the horse you learned to ride on?
Well, I started taking lessons at the stable, and they had horses there. So I started riding this asshole horse, and so once I learned or decided that I was going to keep taking lessons, I decided I needed to get my own horse because I didn't want to be on this asshole horse for the rest of my riding career because I knew I'd probably quit. So
when you fell, I remember you'd posted a while ago that you'd fallen off.
I actually fell from her, the horse I bought, because I did something stupid. I still don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I decided, even though I had never ridden bareback and I was just a beginning rider, and I had a new horse, that I was going to get on her bareback and ride around this giant arena. And I told my son, who knows nothing about horses, help me get on. So my son, who's 19 and thinks everything that I do or wear is hilarious, tries to lift my fat ass up onto the horse, and I get like halfway up, and then he's laughing too hard to get me the rest of the way up. And so he's laughing, and I'm like, push, push, push. So he's got his hand on my butt, and he's trying to push me up, and I'm like, not on my butt. Don't push me like that. And So he lets go of the horse's reins, and then he's laughing so hard he can't help me anymore, so he backs away. So I'm kind of halfway on the horse and half not on the horse, and I don't have the reins, and my son doesn't have the reins, and this horse who doesn't really know me as a snack machine yet says, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. I'm out of here. So she takes off running, and I have nothing to hang on to. So she turns a corner, and she starts heading towards the center of the arena, which is where they pile all of the jump, because this is a jumping barn. So they have those big uprights and the bars that go across, and they're metal and they're pointy. And I saw her charging towards those, and I thought, well, I'm going to fall. So I'm either going to fall here on purpose, or I'm going to land on all those pointy metal things and probably die. So I just bailed.
Oh, I had no idea this story was so funny. Oh.
And I landed in a pile of sand. I ate some of it. And, you know, when you're 40, I don't know how old was I at the time. I was 44, 45 years old. When you land off a horse at that age, you don't bounce like you do or roll as a kid. You just kind of, like you landed on concrete, even though it's sand. So I just laid there for a while, contemplating my future.
With your son laughing hysterically.
Like, oh my God, he was dying.
Okay, is there video of this?
There's no video. Thank God.
I'm going to have to train your son.
I know. He was too busy laughing to videotape anything. Are you kidding me?
So why did he start laughing at the beginning? Just at the idea that you were going to ride bareback?
Just because I looked so pitiful trying to get up on the horse.
Okay.
I mean,
and then he's trying to lift you up by your ass onto this horse.
He's just trying to push me up. He's like, Mom, get up there. Like, stop being so retarded. Just get up there. What's wrong with you? Like, and I'm like, I am not physically fit. I cannot pull myself up onto a horse. Get me up there. So it was really bad.
So when
I
the
would
horse
do
took
better
off,
if I tried now. I'm in much better shape now, but at the time I had just started riding, so.
So when the horse took off, were you just like half on, like? Just
yeah, I was
on?
like kind of sliding off to the side and just with one leg over, kind of gripping her other side. And she has this really fast, choppy trot. So it was like, I'm trying to, you know, there was no way I was going to recover from that. So it was bail early and survive, or bail later and be impaled. So.
Wow, that is hilarious.
I have not ridden her bareback since.
What made you decide to do that?
Well, you know, I'm at this barn. I'm the oldest person by far who rides there as a beginner. There's all these little tiny little gremlins and goblins and munchkins, and I'm meaning children that ride there. And they hop on the horse and hop off, and everything looks so easy. So I think, I can do that. That little 5-year-old can do it. I can do it. Just put me up there. Just get me up there. I can handle it. That was just a moment of foolishness, and I learned my lesson.
That's literally it? Some kids were doing it, so you said, the hell with it, I can do it?
Shit, the freaking Native Americans did it all the time. What did they? They never had saddles. I can do this.
Oh, okay. So that's.
I think this is temporary insanity. That's the only explanation that makes sense.
That's kind of funny, though. I feel like that's a little insight into you. Well, if somebody else can do it, I can do it. So you just do it. And usually it works out, but sometimes you almost impale yourself.
Yes, sometimes I eat a lot of sand and can't get off the ground and say to myself, should I try to get up and walk or just have someone call an ambulance right now?
Okay.
I was sore for like a week. And my son's girlfriend's father was standing right there the whole time.
Oh, beautiful.
He's laughing too. And then he's like, oh, and he's French. So he's like, oh no, are you okay? Are you okay? He's like coming over like, oh la la, oh la la. I'm like, yeah, fucking oh la la, get out of my way.
Oh man, that is just absolutely hilarious. I can't believe there's no video of this. Your son is really dropping the ball.
Oh, he was too busy busting a gut.
He couldn't even begin to.
He was bent over. He was like, he could barely walk.
I had a similar thing happen. I wasn't trying to ride a horse bareback or the one that this story happened to, but I had something similar happen where I was laughing so hard. I was thinking I should be recording this, but I couldn't even speak. So I actually a friend of mine almost drowned because I was laughing so hard.
Oh my God.
We were sailing. This is going to make me sound super snooty, authorish. We were sailing in the British Virgin Islands, and we were going snorkeling. Yeah, well, this is back when I made money when I actually worked for the government. So we were sailing, and we were going to go snorkeling. The weather was terrible there the whole time. We barely ever got to snail. Snail?
That's the wine talking, baby.
I better pour another glass. I talk better when I'm drinking heavily. I'm not drinking heavily yet.
Actually, I think you just hear worse when you're drinking, but go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. The perception is the same to me. So we decided to go snorkeling, and my friend is sitting on the back of the boat, and he's got his flippers on and his snorkel on. He's got his mask on, and he tries to hop off the back of the boat, and his trunks get caught on the ladder. The ladder is up in the boat, so it like flips him, and he face plants into the water, and his waist is stuck. And so when he first hits the water, it kind of stunned him because he belly flopped, and he just sat there for a second. That's when I started laughing. And then he tried to swim away, and that was when he noticed his trunks were stuck. So he's actually kind of swimming like this and not moving anywhere. So now I'm starting to laugh hysterically. And then when he realizes he's stuck, he's trying to reach back to figure out what the problem is, and he's kind of doing this thing, and he can't reach anything. So then he's trying to paddle sideways in the water to get around, and he's just completely stuck. And now he's starting to panic, even though he has a snorkel on, like he's breathing fine. He's starting to panic, so he's just like thrashing in the water, and I'm laughing so hard. I'm actually concerned with him because he's thrashing so much. I'm afraid he's going to spit his snorkel out, but I can't move because I'm just dying because he looks so stupid. And there's all these other people around us, and no one saw him like splash. Like a shark could have been eating him, and nobody would have seen it but me, and I couldn't have said a word. So, anyway, long story short, I get the thing of not being able to record it, but I'm gonna have to. I have like one of those GoPro cameras now that I take with me when I do shit like that.
You should wear that all the time. Wear it all the time.
I should. If I actually left my office during the day, it would probably be worth it, but I don't actually go anywhere. So.
You know, it's funny. I was just talking to a friend. They were talking about their commutes. And I said, well, my commute is going from a laying down position to a sitting up position because I write in bed. And I went out, and that's my commute. It's like going from this to this. How's that work now?
That's actually worse than mine because that couch right there, that's where I take my nap. So I at least go 2 feet. I have to get up out of my chair.
That means my commute's better, not worse.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
It's shorter, less effort. But anyway, I went outside today for the first time at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, sunshine. Look at that. That's when you know you're an author. When you just don't go outside anymore.
When I first quit my job and started writing, that was nice. I like that.
Chug-a-lug.
When I first quit my job, I started writing. I was really into my first story. I'd never done anything creative like that before. I mean, I've done like, what are you doing?
Just listening to your story.
And that's beautiful. I went outside one time to take the garbage can out, and as soon as I went out, I was kind of looking around a little bit, thinking something's weird. And then I realized I had not been outside in 9 days.
Something's weird. There aren't 4 walls around me anymore.
I felt wind, the air was fresh. It was weird. And I realized I actually have to force myself to go out and take walks and things like that. So, and even on the weekends, we have to go out somewhere for dinner, or we have to go to happy hour somewhere, or else my fat ass will not leave the house.
You have to go to happy hour.
Yeah, I have to actually schedule my drinking now outside of the house.
Yeah, Yeah, I can see how a writer could easily become a recluse, especially writers who didn't have internet and stuff like that. Could you imagine, like, if you had no distractions, what you would do?
I'd probably be super rich because I'd have like 1,000,000 books. But now it's like I write a paragraph and then so I get an email. Or I'm like, well, I didn't finish that movie on Netflix last night. Let's see what that is.
Squirrel syndrome.
So we have to tell this hilarious story of when we were writing Aces High, which, by the way, was a very fun book to write.
It was fun to write. It was.
It's the only thing I've co-authored with anybody, but it was really fun just the way we did it. I should probably set up the way we decided to do it. All of the chapters from, God, I can't even remember the characters' names now.
Charlie and Doug.
Charlie and Doug, that's right. Chuckles and Dougal-ass. You wrote all the female character chapters, and they alternated with the male character chapters, and I wrote those. But we decided when we were going to write it that we couldn't edit each other's chapters unless something was very structurally wrong or whatever. We could just kind of fix our character's dialogue. So basically what it became was you writing as the female just shit on the male character, and then when I was writing as the male, I just shit on the female character. So it was kind of like every day when one of us would wake up, we would see what ridiculous situation we had to react to.
Yeah, and I'm 6 hours ahead of you, so I would write my chapter when I got up, and then I would send it to you so that when you woke up in the morning, my chapter would be waiting for you. And then when I woke up in the morning the next day, your chapter would be waiting for me. So we always woke up, and the first thing we got to do was read what the other person, what their character had done to our own character.
Right. It was just really funny, and I just really appreciated it because the way we did it, I just never knew what the hell was going to be waiting for me in my inbox in the morning.
Yes, because we didn't outline the story at all. We pantsed the entire thing, which I think, looking back now, at the time it made complete sense because we're both pantsers, but looking back now, you got to imagine, like, it's actually incredible that we came up with a story arc and a plot line that makes sense with two people pantsing alternate chapters.
Well, I do remember was it maybe a quarter away, or it might have even been halfway through. I was like, okay, we have to get them the hell out of the apartment building because we kept they kept playing pranks on each other, and then they go to their own rooms, and I was like, okay, something has to happen here. Like,
Get them out of the building.
Right. But actually, that was another story. Was when I logged in one day because we initially started. We would pass the chapters back and forth on what's Google's version of Word? Is Google Docs?
Google Docs, yeah.
Because for some reason we thought we were going to write live together at first, and that went out the window before we even started the book. But for some reason I logged in, and you were doing this full outline.
Yes.
And
because I thought with two people writing, right, we have to have an outline.
Yeah, that was probably the only thing we probably disagreed on leading up to it. I was like, "What the hell are you doing? I'm not doing an outline. This is ridiculous."
And I was like, how are two people writing at different times going to write a book without some kind of outline?
Right.
Like,
we ended up, we came up with kind of a compromise. We did like the outline was less than half a page.
We just wrote like a paragraph or two about what we thought was going to happen. It didn't actually happen that way, really, but what we thought would be, it just set a direction for the story.
See, I don't even remember. We didn't follow the outline at all?
Not really. Like, we decided who the main bad guy was going to end up being in the end, and we decided who was going to be the bad guy that kind of carried the story, but that's all we had.
That's right. We came up with the kind of bad guy. That's right, and that was it.
Yeah. Like this, because we knew it was paranormal, so we needed to come up with some supernatural creatures. So we decided the two supernatural creatures that were going to be like the main bad guys, or
right.
They weren't really the bad guys.
Yeah, okay. Yes, yeah, I do remember that. And we were also trying to figure out supernatural bad guys that hadn't really been used in other stories. So
right.
I actually think we came up with a pretty cool idea for that shapeshifter wearing people's skin. That was pretty cool. In fact, it was so cool. After we finished, I was like, God damn it, I could have used that for a horror story. Like, damn, that would have been like seriously creepy stuff. And now if I use it, I'll just be that idiot who keeps recycling his stuff. But so the funny story was, I would always get the chapters second. So you would write it, like you said, while I was sleeping. And so Friday morning I would wake up and we didn't write on the weekends. So I would have all weekend to write my chapter if I wanted to, and because I'm a lazy ass, I always waited all weekend. And I would end up writing it Sunday night, so you'd have it on Monday. And we went, I'm trying to remember, we went to a microbrew up the road, which has incredible beer. It's kind of ruining my life, actually. We went there on Sunday to watch football, and I just got bombed. I don't even know why. I just got completely hammered at this bar. And like 7 o'clock at night, I remembered, oh, shit, I have to write my chapter. So I'm sitting on the couch, football's on. I think I even got a growler from this place that I was still drinking from. So as I wrote the chapter, I was just getting more and more hammered. And I'm writing it, and my wife's sitting on the couch across from me, and I'm like, man, this is good stuff. And I'm like reading her passages, and now that I think back, she wasn't actually replying to me reading her chapters. I think she just didn't want to tell me how terrible it was. So I'm writing this, and I send it, and I was like, boom, there's no way Elle can top that chapter. That's the best chapter in the book. And then I wake up in the morning, and first of all, I feel like dog shit. And then I have this email waiting for me that's basically like, I don't even understand what you wrote. This doesn't even make sense. Like, you couldn't even follow what I was trying to do. So I'd like to hear from your perspective when you opened that chapter up.
Well, I remember you telling me, I know I'm supposed to write, but, you know, I plan to go out drinking, so I'm going to do my best, but I might take, you said I might take the whole weekend to write it because I have plans tonight or whatever. So I had been kind of warned, but I figured with the whole weekend it wouldn't be an issue. So when I opened it, you know, normally when I opened up your chapters, it just kind of flowed, so it was absolutely no issue to figure out what was going on. But I kept having to reread the first paragraph, going, what the hell is, like, I don't know. I just remember sentences being almost jumbled.
Totally.
You know? Like,
I was
no
doing this weird
sentence led
thing.
into the other. And
yeah,
I was like,
for some reason I was writing like 2-word sentences and stuff.
yeah, I was like, my husband was sitting next to me. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, what? I was like, maybe it's me. Tell me if this makes sense to you. And I'd read out a sentence. He's like, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I'm like, I think he was drinking when he wrote this. He warned me that he was going to go out drinking.
Yeah, I had to rewrite the whole ending of that chapter. I remember the beginning wasn't awful, but your character's dialogue made her come across as like this mega bitch. She was just...
Yeah, there was that scene where there was some woman or whatever, and it was just like, what the hell, man?
Right, I just totally ruined the character.
Period or something. Like, man, she's moody today.
Right.
It was like my character took over the chapter and was like being this bitch on wheels, and it's like, man, everyone's gonna hate my character. That's totally unfair. You turned my character into an asshole.
Yeah, so Monday morning I was super hungover and I had to rewrite my chapter so it made some kind of sense. Yeah, that was... I learned my lesson on that one. Write it Friday before I go out.
Like Hemingway said, write drunk and sober, but I think maybe you should swap that.
Okay, let's pull that thread. Are you able to do that?
Write drunk?
Yeah.
I've never tried.
Have you tried writing buzzed?
No, I've never. No, because even if I'm tired, I don't think I can write well.
You've
like,
never tried to write buzzed? You're like a raging drug addict. I don't understand.
When I start drinking, I drink until I am blottoed, and then I go to sleep. I am not a casual drinker.
Okay. All right. So you don't just drink Saturday afternoon and have a couple of drinks. Okay.
And if I go to like a party or something or a dinner and I know that I have some writing to do before I go to bed, I won't drink at the party.
Gotcha.
Because I know that I will get home and I will not want to write. Like, drinking makes me not want to write. I do not get inspired to write when I drink. I get inspired to dance, sing out loud in the neighborhood, make a fool of myself, but not actually sit down and do anything productive.
Okay. See, I always feel like I get great ideas when I'm drinking. So I'll either write them down, and I used to try to actually write after I'd had, I don't know, a couple beers, whatever.
I saw that.
It has never once worked. Like the chapter I sent you was Shakespeare compared to some of the shit I've written, and then I've read the next day.
No, I don't think I could do it. I need all brain cells functioning at maximum capacity.
Yeah, see, I'm the same way. I think that Hemingway line is bullshit. I think he said that to screw other writers up.
Yeah, he didn't want the competition. So he's like, all of y'all get drunk and try to write stuff. It'll be great, I promise.
Right. I think the only person who took that advice and actually worked was probably Stephen King.
Or William Faulkner.
And oh shit, I can't remember the other guy's name. Wasn't it Cujo? I think it was Cujo. The King wrote, and he has no recollection of writing.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I think it was Cujo. Like he was so high, he doesn't even remember writing it.
Well, you know what? I haven't smoked pot since high school, or maybe just after high school. I've never tried that, but I don't have a connection.
Oh, you've never tried writing on pot? Okay.
No.
I've heard that's a very different thing.
I remember feeling incredibly intelligent when I did it, but I'm quite sure that because I was doing it, I probably wasn't being very intelligent. So my guess is my work product would not be that good.
Maybe it was good. I mean, I was writing some Cormac McCarthy shit, not intentionally, but
that's the thing. If you're not writing it intentionally, it's probably really bad.
Right. I wonder if we have that chapter saved somewhere. I should put that up online.
I'll bet you we do have it.
It's got to be somewhere. It's probably still in my email. I'll have to find that. So.
What the fuck?
I should put that up, and then I should put your response email up.
Yeah. Listen, Dick.
I remember the ending because it was an action scene, like in an alley. Oh God, I can't remember his name now. The vampire dude, the vampire cop guy.
Okay, I don't remember any other character names in that book.
I don't remember it either. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yes.
Yeah. He was throwing.
The guy with
Charlie
the sunglasses.
Around. What's that?
Yeah. The guy with the sunglasses.
See, I don't even remember that shit. I just remember he was fast or strong or something. He's throwing Charlie around, and you were like, I don't even understand what's happening here.
Why are you beating the shit out of my character? It actually starts to feel a little personal. Why are you doing this to my character, asshole?
Yeah, I do remember that one part where you gave Doug. No, he wasn't. The cop wasn't throwing Charlie around. He was throwing Doug around. I'm sorry. Where your character gave Doug some bad food or something? Like intentionally gave him the shits.
Yeah. Put Visine in his food.
I woke up. That's what it was. Yeah, I woke up in the morning. I'm like, this is what we're writing. We're teaming up to write about characters having diarrhea.
Sorry, but the word poop ends up in every single one of my books at some point or another.
Didn't you have something where you always had characters? You had like a fart joke in every book for a while.
No,
you still doing that?
I still listen. I'm 46 years old on the outside, but on the inside, I am still 12 years old.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I started a show where I drink in the middle of it.
I'm not going to apologize anymore for my fart jokes. You don't like the fart jokes?
Are you still doing the fart jokes?
There's either a reference to farting or pooping in every one of my books. I can't help it. That's real life, people.
Jason Brant approved.
Double thumbs up.
That's hilarious because I just remember I was reading something on Keyboards or something sometime, and somebody was bitching at you, and you were fighting with them because you always fought with everyone on Keyboards. Which is that's the reason I tweeted you the first time we'd ever talked.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone, and I was like, yeah, fuck that guy. You're right. He's an idiot.
That's right.
And you were like really pissing this person off, and they said something about you putting fart jokes in every book. And I was like, what's wrong with that? That's good writing.
Awesome. I'm going to buy some of those books.
Yeah. You kidding me? So, anyway, I think we're approaching an hour here. It's kind of hard to tell because we had to stop the first attempt of filming this. So,
when my inner voices got involved.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll have to put that up too. That was so hilarious. For people who don't know what we're talking about, which would be all of you, we started recording this, and she started getting feedback on her computer that continued to loop. So by the time I stopped the recording, there was like 5 or 6 audio tracks playing on top of each other. It was actually pretty hilarious.
I started to think it was all happening in my head, and I had a great idea for a horror story.
Don't take over my genre, okay? The only reason I'm doing anything is because it's so small. I don't need people like you coming in.
Listen, Stephen King was my first favorite author, and I have crazy, whacked out dreams, horrible, horrific, awful dreams all the time. So I have toyed with the idea of writing horror books. Maybe you and I should write one together.
Would you do that under a pen name?
No, I do it. I do everything under Elle Casey now because otherwise I have to duplicate my efforts being somebody else, you know, a new Facebook page, a new website, whatever. I just present myself now as Elle Casey, who writes in a lot of different genre. Pick the ones you like.
So you're just like, I'm Elle Casey. Suck a boner.
Yeah.
You're going to read what I put out.
I'm like, if you like it, read it. If you don't, don't.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like, yeah.
I'd like to hear some of these screwed up nightmares. We'll have to have you on again.
I have really disturbing, awful dreams and nightmares. Awful ones.
This is about like falling off horses while riding bareback?
No, that would be a dream. I'm talking nightmares. Horrible, awful stuff. I can't even tell you.
All right, you can't leave me hanging on that. Give me one.
Oh. Killing people, people trying to kill me, just absolute mayhem, crazy stuff.
Supernatural stuff or like real life kind of situations?
Yeah, more like knives, axes, chainsaws, whatever. Damn. Bad people. People pissing me off.
Oh, I don't really have nightmares. I don't know, maybe that's why I write horror. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. But the story for The Dark actually came from a time I had the flu a couple years ago. My temperature was so high I started hallucinating in bed, and there was this black roiling mass above the bed, above my wife and I, and it had like tendrils coming out that were reaching for me. And I was awake, looking up at it, just sweating profusely because of the heat my body was putting off was ridiculous. And I kept thinking, I'm awake. I know I'm awake, but I can see this. So I got up and I walked to the other side of the room, and I was looking back, and it was still there. And I almost shit my pants. And then that was kind of where the idea for The Dark came from, was from having the flu. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like the idea of writing a horror story. The good news is there's absolutely no readers in it, so you're not really going to upset anyone. And the other good news is if a book takes off, you'll hit #1, no problem.
Yeah, well, you know, there got to be readers of it because look at Stephen King and Dean Koontz, but I don't know.
Yeah, look at the two of them.
Where are those people hiding?
Look at the 2 horror writers you know.
True. No, there was another guy. What the heck was his name? Clive
Barker.
Yeah. He used to have commercials on television. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, he had commercials on television for his books.
So Clive Barker's one of the preeminent horror authors of our time. Can you name a book by Clive Barker?
No, but I can tell you I remember his commercials.
Well, that should tell you something about the books. I actually really love Clive Barker, but most people haven't read him. So, but before I let you go here, that actually reminds me of when you were going to switch to romance. You were talking to me about. I was like, oh, don't write romance. You're making a killing writing young adult. What the hell do you want to write romance for? And I think maybe your second romance book came out after Aces High, after we wrote that together, and second or third book you took off that summer, right? My first book made the New York Times bestseller list. You son of a bitch. That's like even worse. It was kind of hard to not write romance after that happened. I just remember you were going to write it, and I'm like, what? You're making a killing writing young adult. Why you want to start all over again? And then you hit the New York Times list, and you sent me an email. You're like, when we write the Aces High sequel, it'll be by New York Times bestselling author Elle Casey and Jason. So awesome. It's like, you asshole. And I couldn't even say anything to that. So, well.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, bastard.
Well, I used to respond to all my reviews back in the day when I would get like one a day or one a week.
I remember that. Yeah.
And sometimes I would have, we'll say, heated conversations with readers in these reviews. And I remember one time this person saying something about the way I was writing or whatever, and I responded, I'm never going to be on the New York Times bestseller list. I know that. I just hope that my writing entertains people. And because at the time I thought, New York Times bestseller, that's never going to happen to any indie, let alone me. So
yeah, if you're not selling paperbacks, it's really hard.
Yeah. So this person wrote back, and she had been critical of my writing in the thing. I think I know what it was. It might have been on the book Wrecked, and she may have been criticizing the fact that my characters were swearing, which is something that's also in every one of my books. There will be farts and there will be swearing. So I mean, that's real life.
If you people haven't read an Elle Casey book yet, you don't know what you're missing.
God. I don't even know if you're being serious now or not.
People are busting ass and swearing. It's the best.
So I told this person, it's not like I'm ever going to be on the New York Times bestseller list. I'm just trying to entertain people. And she said, no, actually, I believe you could make the New York Times bestseller list if you just, focused or applied yourself or stopped putting farts and swear words in your books or whatever it was. And I remember thinking, oh, yeah, that'll never happen, whatever. And then it happened, and it just so happens that book has both farting and swearing in it. So I'll have you know that it is possible.
Boom!
She was right. She said I could do it, and she was right, even though I said it would never happen.
You should have gone back after you hit the list and responded to that again.
Yeah. Boom, chakalaka.
Yeah. Eat shit. I want to leave on two things here. I hadn't checked out reviews for Aces High in a long time, and we wrote the book so long ago. And I was looking, and we've got a couple 1-stars here that were absolutely hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I thought it would be funny.
I saw one, and it was like obviously your most rabid fan on there.
Well, that's one of them, and then the other one is like your fan. And just
okay, what's it say?
The way they kind of project everything bad in the book is either your fault or my fault, depending on whose perspective it is. Like we didn't write it together. So let's see if I can find these here. Yeah, your fan is. Where the hell is it? Oh wait, you don't have any fans. Never mind.
Strike that. Reverse it.
But yeah, your fan was just saying I had to double check to make sure this was Elle Casey. The main character should have been called Ghetto Bryn.
Bryn is the name of the main character in Apocalypsis.
Yeah, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. But I thought that was funny that you have this hilarious fan who loves your stuff.
No, read the one from your fan. I read that. And I was like,
I'm looking that one up. I read this and I just started laughing. This is such a hilarious review. This must have been my mom because
well, I was thinking this person has such a crush on Jason Brant. They like want to beat me up because I wrote a book with him.
Okay, I found it. Basically paraphrasing, I just finished reading three of my novels. I guess he should stick to writing solo instead of letting another author infect his work. He must have owed Elle Casey a huge favor. And then they go on. But what's hilarious is this came out in 2014, and I'm reading this, looking at the date, thinking, yeah, New York Times bestselling author, yeah, she really owed me a favor. Writing the book together. So you said I keep saying I'm going to let you go, and we just keep bullshitting because it's what we do. But you said you were having issues with trolls hitting your books with reviews and stuff.
Yeah. And
that slowed your progress down?
Yeah.
Have you stopped reading reviews because of that?
Well, here's the thing. When the first couple years that I was writing, I had these absolute ideas in my mind that I said were never going to change. And one of them was that you should respond to every review, and that's something that I did religiously. And I still believe if you want to do it, you should be able to do it. You have the right to do it, and it's fine. Amazon agrees with me, by the way. But and I also said that I should read every single review that comes out, whether it's good or bad, because it will either help me become a better writer or it will motivate me to keep writing. So either way, it's going to help me. But then when I started getting these reviews that I knew for a fact were from people trolling, which is, somebody just angry and unhappy and trying to bring people down. And I knew because I would be on an online forum and I would say a few things. And then within 10 minutes of somebody getting angry on the forum, a new review would pop up using some of the language that that angry person had used on the forum. So it was sometimes they would say things that didn't even exist in the book, so I knew they hadn't read the book. And I thought, or I'd suddenly see all my good reviews downvoted, which in Amazon world means that they are less visible to readers who are thinking about buying the book, the good reviews. So I just got really so down on people in general, just that there are people out there who will spend so much time being miserable and dragging people down with them, that I said, seeing these negative things happening on my reviews and getting into conflicting conversations with people like that is just making me not feel like writing anymore. And the people who really matter are not the trolls. They're the people who like to buy my books and like to read my books. So I should be focusing my attention on those people. So the only way I can do that is to focus on my writing. And I realized that I got to the point where I couldn't tell which reviews were genuine and which ones that, if it was a bad review, that's fine. If they really had good feedback for me to help me improve, those are good reviews to read. I couldn't tell the difference anymore between something like that and somebody just harshing on me for no reason other than they're miserable. So I started avoiding the bad reviews and only reading the good reviews. And then I got to the point where, if you only read the good reviews, you kind of get this weird slant to your writing that's not really representative, of the reality of your writing. It doesn't give you any of the bad points.
Sure, you're just awesome. You do nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard jokes are the best.
and positive reviews are very important for motivational purposes and for seeing what you're doing right. So I need those. I need to see those. So what I started to do, what I do now is when I launch a book, I'll read the first 30 or 40 reviews that come in at first, because first of all, I know that those are people who are my fans, who are waiting for my release to come out, and they read the book right away. And so the people who are really behind me, I want to know what they have to say, because they'll let me know if I'm dropping the ball somewhere. And they also are highly motivating for me. So I always read those first ones. And then, maybe once every week or once every couple weeks, I'll kind of skim through my books and see if there's a surgeon review somewhere. But more often than not, my husband will go through the reviews for me and pull out things that he thinks I should see. And in general, they are positive things. Just like if there was a unique take that somebody took on a character or a plot line or a way I wrote something, he shares those. He'll just group them all together in a big email to me and send me this big email with all these snippets from reviews. And for me now, that's the best way to do it. It keeps me motivated, keeps me writing, and doesn't drag me down into this pit of despair that I think it's easy for any author to fall down into that pit, because there are just some people out there who really, really focus on the negative.
That's interesting, because that's such a huge turnaround for you. I did the same thing. I responded to every review for my first, I think, 2 books. They were just novellas, but I kind of, as my sales grew, I realized I'm not getting a higher percentage of negative reviews, but because I'm selling more books, I'm getting more. And it's funny that one negative review out of 20, it offsets all 20, and then you get somebody who actually sees your writing for what it is, but just doesn't like it and just shits on you really hard. Not even counting trolls, but just somebody who doesn't like your voice, doesn't like your humor, doesn't like whatever. That can really bring you down.
Yeah, and people say, oh, but ignore that person. Just look at all the great reviews. But as a creative person, when you put something of yourself into your work and you have somebody who spends, 15 or 20 minutes to detail why exactly you're not at all talented, it's crushing.
Yeah,
it's absolutely crushing.
People who say that aren't creative. It's really hard. It's really hard to deal with that. It's just funny that you say that because I remember you and I both talking. In fact, that might have been why I messaged you. I think you might have been arguing with another author about responding to reviews, and they said you should never do it, and you were doing it to all your reviewers, and I was doing the same thing, and I was like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, and I still don't think there's something wrong with that, but you really have to have the ability to deal with people who are just angry.
Yes.
If you're going to do that. So
and
I still read. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I didn't stop because I decided it was a bad idea or because I decided I wasn't going to do it anymore. What happened is when I was doing that, I was like one of the very few people who was doing it as a regular, I do it every time kind of thing. There were some authors who were doing it sporadically when somebody would say something they didn't like, or if a reviewer would direct a comment to the author and the author would respond. But I was the one person who was doing it for every review, regardless, good or bad. I responded with a thank you.
Right.
And Amazon shut me off. Like, they shut off my ability to comment. And so
really, I didn't know that.
Yes. So I contacted Amazon and said, what's going on? Why did you shut me off? This is part of my promotional work. This is how I interact with fans. This is a public forum.
Which, by the way, if you're just starting out, really works.
Yes.
If you respond to your first reviews, those people will love you to death.
Yes. It really did a good thing for me, and it helped me connect with my readership. And even people who were thinking of buying the books would see the conversations that I had, and it would inspire them to buy the book. And I know that because they would say it. So right. It wasn't me thinking it. It was something I was hearing regularly. So it was part of my I had gratitude towards anybody who would buy my book and take the time to leave a review, whether it was good or bad. I didn't care. I just was glad that people would take their time to do that. So I thought they were owed a thank you. So I did that, and Amazon shut me off, I think because somebody complained or because I did so many in a row. When they see a lot of activity, it sets off an internal alert in their system, and it automatically shuts you off. So I contacted Amazon, and the people at the regular customer service would not answer me. So I got really upset, and I said, I've been shut off for 4 or 5 days, and that's a really long time in my world because I'm on there every day responding. So I sent an email to Jeff Bezos, who is the CEO of Amazon. And I said, in this very detailed email.
Shoot for the head of Amazon. It's like one of the most powerful men in the world. You were like, hey, I can't comment on reviews. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty much what I said, except that I tried to sound more business-like about it. Like, listen, I'm this independent author. I only have so many, avenues to connect with my readers, and Amazon provides this public opportunity, and I want to be able to do this, and it helps me cultivate my readership and whatever. And then I got this person from executive customer service contacting me saying, we absolutely agree with you, and it was a mistake, and the person who shut off your account will be receiving extra training. And we agree with what you're doing, and it is part of the customer experience, and we appreciate the effort that you're making in your relationships with your readers, and we have reinstated you, and we're giving you a $50 Amazon gift card. And they were very, very, very nice, and gave me a personal email of somebody I could contact in case I ever had another problem. So I went back to my business of commenting and so on. And then it happened again, and this was when my sales had really picked up, and I was getting lots of reviews every day. And I was shut off for 2 days until they could figure out that it was an automated thing that happened, because I had commented. I was getting 15 reviews a day, so I was going in there and commenting on 15 reviews, so it looked like they thought their system, that picks up on a lot of activity, thought I was abusing the system and shut me off automatically. So I contacted Amazon again, and they're like, we're so sorry this happened again. We're going to undo that mistake. And what they not only shut me off, when they shut you off, they remove every comment you've ever made on Amazon.
Oh, God.
So where there were these long strings of conversations between me and readers, you would see the readers' comments, but you would see that mine was deleted by Amazon. So it made it appear as if...
Makes it look like you're a coward, right?
Yeah, it made it look like there was this abusive, awful thing going on when it was like just a nice conversation happening or whatever. And so I was like, put it all... They were like, we're going to restore everything. We'll put it all back up there, and you'll be able to go back on. But by that time, there were 70 or 80 reviews that had not been responded to, and there are 15 or 20 coming in every day, and I just couldn't keep up. And I didn't want to neglect those 80 that I hadn't answered and start again, and then have those 80 people wonder why I didn't respond to their review. And so it just became this huge amount of reviews that I couldn't respond to, and I thought, now I just have to respond to nothing. Because if I cherry pick, that was my thing, you shouldn't cherry pick. Like, if you're going to thank people for reviews, you thank everyone, the good and the bad, whatever.
Absolutely.
So
Otherwise,
I didn't want to go, it looks like an attack otherwise. It looks like author going in there and picking out and attacking people for things they don't like, which isn't fair. So I said, well, now the decision has been made for me. I can't comment on reviews anymore because it's just become too big of a job. So that's why it changed, not because I decided commenting on reviews was a bad idea. It just became impossible because of a couple glitches.
Gotcha.
That was a really long story. Kept you on the thing for another 20 minutes. Sorry about that.
Yeah, whatever. I was just curious because I remember that was a very big thing you were doing, and I was doing the same thing. I just got tired of responding to all of them, so I just quit. But you actually went through a whole drama and emailed Jeff Bezos. I can just see, because he's currently like launching rockets into space, and I can just see him like doing all this stuff, and he checks his phone, and it's an email from you bitching about reviews for your books.
Elle, little shit, Casey. What the hell, man?
Oh,
He's
New
like,
York
get
Times.
this chick off my back.
Right. Yeah, he would just buy France and shut you down if he wanted to.
I know, exactly. But Amazon has been really, really good to me. I mean, really good to me since then. So, I mean, Amazon is absolutely about indies connecting with their readers. Like, that's what they want, because it helps them get more sales too. They're not stupid. They know that promotional efforts are promotional efforts, however you do them, and they like the reader engagement. So if you
I don't think you got
the
the author memo. Amazon is the worst thing ever for authors.
I don't know who sent that memo out.
You didn't hear about that?
I'm not a fan of KU, okay? I will admit that. I'm an anti-KU person, but Amazon's not going to get it right every time from an author perspective.
Sure. Do you have anything in Kindle Unlimited?
I have my French book in Kindle Unlimited, but only because they're going to give me some special promotional opportunities in France. But I had to have it in KU as part of that deal, but it's just the French version, so the only people who are going to buy that are people who read in French. Sure. And they're not big KU users, so it didn't matter. But I was offered a temporary opportunity to try KU out, see if you like it, kind of a thing, and I tried it. I didn't like it at all, so I pulled everything out.
Yeah, I put one novel in, didn't like it. Now I just have shorts in. It's great for short stories.
It's really good for shorts. It's good for serials, and I do have one serial, and I'm writing another serial, so I might use it for that. I mean, I think it has a place, but for full-length novels, I think it's a really bad idea.
Sure. Well, that's a whole nother ball of wax. We'll have to have you on again so you can, and by we, I mean me, because
you and your big
I have a whole crew here, but I'm pretending that this is a low-budget show where I just get drunk.
You and your big black microphone.
Yeah, that's right.
This is my microphone. Really little.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say to that. New York Times best-selling author, and you just got a little earbud? Come on, man.
I know. I need to get one of those big black ones like
you. You should have known you were going to be on Drinking with Jason. What are you doing?
Well, I know, and I could have gotten one online ahead of time, had I known.
You could have got a big black microphone that points right at your mouth like mine.
I wasn't going to say anything, but...
Oh, what are you going to do? I'm sure it's going to come up every time. All right, I'll let you go here, but we'll definitely have to have you on again just to talk about more writing stuff, because I'm sure all of your readers will watch this and be like, what did we just watch? Like, nothing nothing was discussed. We just shot the shit for like an hour and a half. So.
We'll do one where you're either in France or I'm over there, wherever the hell that you live. I can't remember where I sent those bottles of wine. And we'll do one with both of us on the same screen.
Yeah, we've been talking for years. If we're ever in the same room doing this, it's going to end up in some kind of fist fight where you beat the shit out of me.
I'm totally on board with that.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm in training right now, actually.
Okay, so Drinking with Jason episode 3 is Elle Casey fighting me. I like that.
Oh, that would be so cool. The Jason
that would
Brant
probably go viral, actually.
Yeah, Jason Brant beatdown.
Yeah, my sales would tank. Horror author gets shit kicked out.
I would beat you to death with your own microphone.
It's a big black microphone. You could probably do that. It's even got like a metal stand here.
Oh my God, that thing is official, man.
Yeah, I spent like
name it
$40 on this shit. What's
Did
that?
you name it?
Yeah, this is Chocolate Thunder. Okay, so the bottle of wine's almost over. I'm gonna let you go.
My bottle of wine is empty, but that was awesome. That was really awesome.
All right, cheers to you, Elle Casey. Thank you for being on the first episode. You fucking rock. We'll definitely do this again soon.
Bye, Chocolate Thunder.
Check out Elle's books. She's got 50 billion of them. You've got all kinds of romance, young adult, new adult. Our book is new adult comedy, horror, a little bit.
Paranormal.
All kinds of paranormal. She's got a movie coming out. She falls off horses. You're going to love it. Check it out. All right, thanks, guys.
With you.
We'll see you soon now. Thank you.